evening, we bring you the latest in the world of sports. Sitting in for Paulo Del Rosario, I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Jet Manuel. In tonight's game plan, after a big Game 5 win in Phoenix, the Bucks head back home to look to win the championship in Milwaukee. Can Giannis and the crew finish the job? And is he the Bucks' clear-cut Finals MVP?
Alaska Aces head coach Jeff Cariaso joins us to talk about the Aces' big plans moving forward, and we break down his picks for most dangerous teams in the PBA. And we'll also talk about all the action in the opening of the Premier Volleyball League. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. A little ways down the road, NBA fans all over the world were chanting Suns in 4. Now, fast forward to today, and the Bucks fans are now hearing Bucks in 6, chanting and hearing Bucks in 6. And after Game 5 victory on the road, the Milwaukee Bucks take a 3-2 final series lead over the Phoenix Suns and will head home to try and take down the crown in Game 6. You can catch the action Wednesday at 9 a.m. live on TV5 and NBA TV Philippines. And joining us tonight to join us for the NBA discussion is four-time PBA Finals MVP, senior basketball analyst for the game, idol ng bayan, LA Tenorio.
I love it. I love it. Idol. Idol ko rin.
Bakit ka natatawa?
Hindi, idol ko rin talaga si LA. Good evening, LA.
Kamusta? Let's first, before we talk NBA idol, kamustahin ka namin. How are you? And how was that first game? Can you give us a recap of what happened?
Hi, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Boom. Good evening, Jet. Good to see you again, Jet.
Kuya Jet.
Well, okay naman. It's nice to be back, no? Playing again in the basketball court. Sobrang tagal na inantay namin to play. We were talking kanina off the air with Coach Jeff. Sobrang we're really thankful and we're really grateful na nakapaglaro ulit kami, no? Even though walang crowd, pero importante nakalaro kami at nakabalik kami.
Of course, LA. But ngayon, no, sa team na to, there are a couple of new faces. One of the bigger faces that we see is, of course, Christian Sanhardinger. Anong adjustments na you're working on now that was in the first game, nakita natin sa first game? What can Ginebra fans expect in the upcoming games?
Well, obviously, no, in the first game, medyo malaking adjustment ang kailangan gawin ng buong team, not only Christian, no. We're also adjusting to Christian and Christian is also adjusting to us. So, yun nga, for the past 2 months, we're practicing na kami-kami lang. So, hindi katulad yan na sinabi namin kanina off the air, where it's really hard to gauge kung ready na yung team sa this coming conference kasi we're only practicing na kami-kami lang. It's really different during practicing games, no. So, well, obviously, that first game, nakita namin yung malaking adjustment na gagawin namin, especially with Christian sa team namin ngayon. So, but, it's still a long way in this conference. I think yung coaching staff, I'm sure nakita na kagad nila nangyari na mga gagawin na adjustment with regards to Christian and other players also with our new acquired players. So, but may expect pa rin, syempre, we might struggle, ngayong first part of the conference, but eventually hopefully we'll be there, in the end of the conference.
Oh, mahaba pa naman, and of course, good luck with these succeeding games. All right, LA, lipat tayo sa usapang NBA. I'm sure you watched that game number 5, and I'm sure you saw all over and over again that Jrue Holiday steal. You've done that so many times in your career, di ba? Ninakawan mo ng bola yung kalaban, and then the Giannis alley-oop. Merong malaking play din nung game number 4, di ba? Yung block yata, di ba? Ni Giannis on DeAndre Ayton dun sa pick and roll. What to you was a bigger play? Ano yung mas nagustuhan mo? What had the bigger impact in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think the bigger impact was the last game, no? The game 5. No? I think because no, it's really hard to play against a team na home court advantage. That kind of play kasi, or yung mga ganung klaseng stop kasi it's a make or break sa isang team, especially with the tie series or with the kind of series na meron ngayon ng Bucks and Suns, no? Sobrang sakit nun for the Phoenix Suns dun sa nangyari yun kasi they're playing in the home court, and then now I think they're going back to the, if I'm not mistaken, they're going back to Milwaukee.
Yes,
Milwaukee.
yes. Na kung saan 9-1 yata sila.
Yeah, malakas ang Milwaukee.
Yeah, so it's a bigger impact kasi yung momentum going to the home court of Milwaukee plus yung nangyari nga Game 5. So malaking factor yun. So,
Okay,
but again, this is NBA. Anything can happen, di ba?
Pwede na matapos sa Game 6, ano? Pwede na. Okay,
Pwede lang tapusin sa Game 6.
Right.
And for sure, that's the goal of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee for sure.
So,
But Kuya, from a former multiple-time Finals MVP idol, I want to ask you, is Giannis the clear-cut MVP for the Bucks, the Finals MVP in this series if the Bucks win the next game?
well, obviously, no, kung titingnan natin ang numbers, pero kung titingnan natin kasi yung impact also sa lahat ng mga panalo ng Bucks, no. And this is my pick actually before the series. It's
ganun.
Middleton. Siya yung pick ko talaga before the series started. So sa kabilang side, it's Chris Paul, pero si Middleton dito sa Bucks. No? Kasi yung impact niya kasi, especially going to the finals, malaking bagay yun. Tapos, di ba, last game, Game 5, he was Giannis made a big dunk the last part, pero yung during the run ng Phoenix, ng Bucks, si Chris Middleton talaga yung malaking impact, di ba? So,
Ito tanong ko, LA, nakikita natin yung mga numero ni Giannis and ni Chris Middleton, and nakita natin ni tweet ni
Spencer Dinwiddie, I think,
ni Spencer Dinwiddie, and his thinking is, if let's say may nangyari kay Giannis, health protocols or whatever, and he won't be able to play the rest of the finals, and the Milwaukee Bucks win, sino pipiliin mo kung ikaw ang tatanungin ko? Si Middleton ba? Or si Giannis, o depende ba sa mangyayari sa game number 6? What do you think?
Ako si si Chris Middleton
okay.
pick ko talaga.
Nice.
Kasi I like, well, obviously it's Giannis talaga, no? Yung numbers yan, obviously sa numbers talaga. Pero the impact talaga that Chris Middleton is, giving sa Bucks pag kailangan nila ng puntos, di ba? Or when they needed the most, no? It's really Middleton talaga ang nandun parate.
Well, moving forward, talking about Game 6, I want to get your prediction. I'm going to put you on the spot, LA. Can the Bucks close out the Suns in their home court? Yes or no?
May Game 7
Or may Game 7.
Yan.
Or may Game 7.
Yan. Oh.
Well, if Giannis will play in Game 6, no, I just saw that tweet just right now. So we're not sure about the lineup of Bucks if Giannis will play. But if they have a complete lineup, I think the Bucks will win Game 6. They cannot afford to go back to Phoenix.
Yes, and if they win Game 6, Middleton is the MVP. According to Kuya, Idol, LA Tenorio. Maraming salamat, LA. And good luck. Stay healthy, and good luck with the rest of the season sa PBA. Thank you, LA, for joining us.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
And we're still not done with the NBA. Our very own Paulo Del Rosario caught up with Phoenix Suns forward Cam Johnson, who shared a story about how it is like being coached by Monty Williams. Let's hear what he has to say in this edition of Inside the Game.
Coach Monty has been going viral a lot recently because we're now getting a bit of an ear in on the locker rooms and in the huddles. And is he like that on a daily basis, just finding ways to tug at your heartstrings, tug at every emotion that you got to make sure that you go to the next level?
That's it. That's exactly it. It's a skill, right? It's a skill that he's gotten pretty good at, and it's definitely effective. Even if you know he's trying to tug at your heartstrings and tug at your emotions, you eat it up. He's been great to me in my 2 years here, and it's just when you have a coach like that, you want to run through a wall for him. You don't want to disappoint him, and that's the catalyst of all our success right there.
Has he got you pretty bad one time based on like maybe a speech that he did that was directed at you?
Oh, I remember in Utah, February, it might have been, let's say February 20-something, 2020, right before the season kind of shut down my rookie year. We're in Utah, and I let up, I was jumping a pass to the corner to Joe Ingles or to Donovan Mitchell. Joe Ingles threw it, and it looked like he was throwing it like this, and I thought I could steal it, and I missed, obviously, and the ball went over my head, and Mitchell hit a three. Then the next possession, they have an inbounds play, and it was when we went over and shoot around, scouting their plays, and I didn't do it exactly how we were supposed to do it, and I let up another three. And the look on his face, he was so disappointed in me, and I was like, oh, man, like I was stressed out. He was just to see that look on his face, like, what are you doing, man? And I just felt like I let him down, and it was a tough feeling. I had to go to the bench. The assistant coaches are like, oh man, what are you doing? Mikhail put his arm around me. He's like, it's all right, man. They could just tell I was going through it at the time.
By the way, I'm a big fan of how focused you were on your answer there, that no matter what distraction came your way, you went straight at it.
It's like shooting a free throw, you know?
Again, good luck in the upcoming games. Again, a lot of people will be happy to see you guys lift the chip, and I can't wait to see what you guys can do.
Thank you, Paulo. Appreciate it.
Best of luck to Cam Johnson and the rest of the Phoenix Suns as they go to Milwaukee and try to force a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. Now, when we return, we'll check in with Alaska Aces head coach Jeff Cariaso to talk about the team's big plans after their big season opener. And we'll also break down some of the most dangerous teams in the PBA right now. Keep it here. You're watching The Game. We're back with you here on The Game. The PBA's 46th season opening weekend is officially done, and we are all systems go for the Philippine Cup. Among the big winners of the opening tip was Coach Jeff Cariaso and the Alaska Aces, who opened their season in a big way against the Blackwater Bossing. 103-77 was the final score, dominating fashion. The Alaska Aces, led by Di Gregorio, 20 points, and Yusef Taha with 16 in opening day. Coach Jeff must be really, really happy. Well, we'll find out. Speaking of, joining us to talk about their plans to keep the momentum pushing forward is the man at the helm, many-time PBA champion, the original Jet.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to give it to him.
Coach Jeff Cariaso.
I'm the second.
The Jet and a Jet.
The Jet and A Jet.
The Jet and a Jet. No
Good evening,
disrespect to you, partner. No disrespect. All right, first of all, Coach, congratulations for a solid win. And you always want to start a season with a win. That's always a good sign. Please give us your evaluation of that big dominating win.
First of all, good evening, Boom. Thanks for having me. Jet, nice to see you again. Thanks for having me. I'm now called Jet Lag, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
Your name
That's
Jet
the first.
is still awesome. Boom, I think you hit it on the nail when you said, you always want to start the conference on a good note. I'm not gonna lie. Up until now, there still remain uncertainties because to think about it, we've only played one game against a different opponent. That's the first time in the last 7-8 months.
Right.
So are we still gelling? Are we still trying to improve? Yes. Do we have everything figured out? Of course not. But you try to do what you need to do to survive, and we're just happy and blessed that we're able to find a way last Friday.
I just want to insert, Coach, before I hand it over to Jet. Was there any nerves in your part? You've done this many times as a player and as a coach, but
Right.
I'm asking it in the context of the situation that we're all in right now.
Right. I think there were, and I'm not shy to say it. I walked in there a little bit, and the setup was there, all the TVs are on the side. Just the fact that there were referees, the lighting. I was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie about that, but I think the players, whether they're gonna admit it or not, I'm sure they felt a little nerves, but at the same time excited and just happy to be back. So yeah, that'll improve, I hope.
Sorry, Coach. Talking about highlights, we see a guy right here that played amazing for you in that first game, Mike Di Gregorio. Did he have first game jitters? How was he? How did he adjust? And how did he perform the way he did in that first game? He was huge.
Man, Jed, if that was jitters for Mike, I'd prefer that to
Always have
have
jitters.
game day jitters. Mike's work ethic is impeccable. It's one of a kind, to be honest with you. He's very consistent with his routine, and it's not surprising that he came out ready. Now the challenge is consistency, right? And I think that's one thing about PBA players, and we all know that. Everyone's there for a reason. Everyone can play, but the good ones are the consistent ones. So we're gonna rely on him to play that way. Not just his shooting, but to be focused on the defense. And that is the same thing we expect from all our guys on both ends.
I mean, we know what we will get out of Mike all the time if he's consistent. But another guy I wanna maybe key in on is someone actually new for you, your rookie RK Ilagan. I mean, he played. He was a spark in that ending of the game. I think it's 9 straight points. Is he considered the hidden gem for you for the Aces, or what do you expect out of this young guy coming into the league now?
Right. We're so happy with RK because he is that Spitfire, kind of that that guy that's right now that's going to come off the bench and give us a push when we need it. And what's awesome about RK, if you don't know him, is just his attitude. Great attitude, very respectful, loves to play and loves to compete, and that's really all you can ask for. From day one, he came into practice. He looked like he wasn't nervous. He looked like he was, meant to be where he is, and I think he believes it in his heart, and I think that's crucial with rookies coming in, and he showed it. And right now, it's really just understanding more on what we need to do, what we're doing, and understanding how it is to play and survive in the PBA. And I think he'll be given us opportunities, so you're going to see a little bit more of him.
Right, Coach, I'm sure you also, as part of your job, your staff, other than concentrating on your own team, you're looking at the whole league in general. What are we talking about in terms of the dangerous teams out there, especially coming from, a different kind of an off-season? You really aren't...
There are a lot of new faces too.
Yeah, that, and then
lot of
unable
new
to
faces.
scout. But there are probably some seeded teams, I suppose, in your head. Who are we talking
Right.
about here?
Boom, you know me and how I approach things. Every team right now, I'm not gonna lie, and this is without any exaggeration. Every team out there is a threat. Every team out there has improved. So I mean that. We discussed the lineups on every team, and now we're preparing for a young Terra Firma team who I think on paper is already, a lot better team than they were, last year and a couple years ago. So are they dangerous? Yes. They have young players that again can play in this league and are going to be future superstars. What they're lacking is only possibly just the experience and the time on the court, but that they're dangerous. So yeah, you have teams like that, and then we play Phoenix next, and then we play Reign, who's undefeated, Morocco, who's undefeated. So to answer your question, Boom, every game is going to be versus a dangerous team.
Well, talking about the new faces, Coach, you have Calvin in Magnolia, you have Macbelo in Meralco. We talked to LA a while ago. We have Christian in Ginebra, and of course, the comebacking.
Right.
Junmar Fajardo for San Miguel. Are they maybe? You talk about all the teams. I mean, that you have to do that, but are they still special? Piece up there that you have to prepare extra for, or it's going to be there in the postseason?
That's for sure. So bottom line is the good teams, the great teams. They got even better. So through trades, they were able to improve their lineup. The reason why these teams are the best and why they seem like they're always in the semis and in the finals is because of the experience that they have, right? They know when to turn it on. They know when to step on the gas, and they know what it takes to win daily because of the experience that they've had. And to be able to have the luxury of improving their lineup, that makes them even tougher. So absolutely, the San Miguel teams are always tough. MVP teams are always tough. And then, like I said, all the other teams, with great respect, where we're approaching them. So preparation will be key. And, we'll go out there and fight.
The Jet always asking the tough questions. I'm not touching that. It's the Jet who's asking the tough questions. That's right.
And to the Jet, thank you, Coach Jeff. Always a pleasure to have you here, joining us in the game.
Thanks, Coach.
And after the
Pleasure
break,
to be here. Thank you.
After the break, let's play Super Spike or Monster Block as we talk about the big opening weekend of the Premier Volleyball League. Stay tuned, you're watching the game. And welcome back to the game. I'm Jet Manuel. The Premier Volleyball League made its comeback over the weekend as fans anticipated the first professional volleyball league in the country. The PVL delivered with hard-hitting volleyball action. Tonight, to help us discuss the volleyball fanfare over the last 3 days, PVL analyst Neil Flores joins us to play Super Spike or Monster Block.
It looks familiar, huh? It looks very familiar.
And Neil, welcome back to the game, and of course, boom,
Good to meet you.
you know who Neil
Good
is.
to meet you. Yeah, we did the game earlier just in
Yes, we
case.
covered the game.
Just in case for people who don't
This is
get
gonna
the
be-
joke. Yeah.
This is gonna be fresh. This is gonna be
Alright,
fresh.
okay.
So we're gonna play a game. I'm gonna ask Neil a question. It's gonna be a situation, and you're gonna tell me either one, Super Spike, or two, Monster Block.
Okay.
Okay, and then give us your thoughts on it.
Alright,
Okay,
sure.
let's go. For the first situation, Super Spike or Monster Block, the Santiago sisters are the center of Cherry's offense.
I would have to say Super Spike for this point of conversation. The Santiago sisters are finally reunited after their stint in Japan.
Right.
Both of them played as an import, and I'm sure Cherry Tigo will be looking for their offensive prowess. They scored 23 points combined in that win, and more than the production, I think na sobrang laking maitutulong yung experience nila with Japan, just the strategies of the Japanese and the discipline of defense in Japan. Malaking
Iba
tulong
ang
yun.
disiplina sa Japan.
Meron ako gusto idagdag dyan, Neil. Is it added motivation for the sisters that the last time that they were together, they were in NU, and they couldn't get past, diba, Final Four?
Yeah.
Medyo disappointing yun for a lot of the NU fans. That was a stacked team, obviously, but yun yung last time we saw them together. They have something to prove as a duo, right?
Yes, I think that was season 76, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure. I've done so many
That was
games.
my
I
season.
don't-
Basta boom covered it.
ko
Basta
na
boom
alam,
covered
oh.
it.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
will
you
trust
covered
you.
that.
Yes,
but
yes,
it will be sweeter to win a crown reunited with all of the experience that you got in Japan.
Yeah.
And these are numbers that are expected kasi import caliber players na sila. Kaya
Yes, good
all eyes will be on Jaja and Din as well.
Well, okay. So that was the situation one. I was very educated.
Ooh.
I like the info. Okay, let's go to situation number two. Super Spike or Monster Block, wing hitters will shine in PVL 2021.
We got a lot of them. We got a lot of them. Eliza Valdez did very well. Sa kabilang side nung kanyang team, Michelle Gumabaw did very well.
Super Spike, Monster Block.
Just basing it on opening games, I would have to go for Super Spike.
Okay. So
Since
two.
you brought up Michelle Gumabaw and
Right.
Eliza Valdez, they combined for 44 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Eliza being Eliza with a 20-point production. But Michelle was a totally different
I believe so.
athlete
I did
during
that
that
game. Parang gulat ako. She's parang better than ever.
And when was the last time na matatandaan mo na nakapag 24 points siya? I think this is one of the first few, and it's
Good point.
very refreshing
Good point.
to see Michelle in her top form.
And Eliza Valdez, I did that game quietly, picking her spots, as I said in that game. But the support of Michelle Gumabaw. was
Any
there. So,
other
yeah.
wing hitters you think that we
Dami eh. Gemma
the
Galanza
PVL
was also
2021,
good.
yeah.
Gemma Galanza, and if you see the bench of Creamline, meron pa dong bago. Tots Carlos,
Right, di pa
seeing limited
nagagamit.
action. The elevator also, you have to look out for, as Eliza told you, I think.
Yes.
So-
Sabi niya, may surprise down. Then, kanina, si Jonas Abete, Jovi Prado, marami-rami rin.
Marami.
And lalo
Okay,
na
a
ngayon,
lot, a
we're
lot.
packed with superstars
Uh-huh.
kasi Jet in
In
this
this PBL.
professional league. So,
Very exciting,
yeah,
very
yeah.
exciting. Okay, so situation number three, the third and the last. So we have two Super Spikes now, no Monster Block. Will this be it? So Neil, Super Spike or Monster Block, Creamline will be part of the Final Four. I'm putting you on the spot right now. We're gonna record this and play it
Ang
at the
hirap
end.
naman pala nung last question.
Super Spike or Monster Block?
Basing it on their first game only, they're one of the clear-cut favorites to make it to the next round. But I would call this one a long rally instead of a super
Wow,
spicy
okay,
round.
new category.
Monster
New
round.
answer. Okay, I'll take that.
Sometimes a
I'll
long
take that.
rally just
Okay,
because
okay.
there are still a lot of games to be played and the 9 other competing teams are also hungry for that first round. Dahil nga, first ever professional volleyball league here in the Philippines.
But how good are they in total from the game that you saw? Parang as an evaluation lang, in your eyes, optics-wise, how good were they?
Right now, they're in championship form, I would
You
say.
think so?
They're lean,
Grabe, no?
they're fit,
Grabe, no?
the power is there, and you have to give it to the discipline of the players. It's not easy to work out from home.
Sure.
But sometimes the
Or workout period.
or workout period. But
Kahit saan.
yeah, but the discipline outlasts the inspired. So kahit na there were times na syempre lack of motivation because we were unsure kung kailan babalik yung volleyball, nandun na-develop nila yung eagerness to play and finally we're here.
Okay, I should ask Neil.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts about the game that we did earlier? Santa Lucia won in straight sets, even if there was a little bit of a delay in the middle. But your quick impressions on the game over PLDT?
That was expected of Santa Lucia to bounce back. PLDT had another rough game. It was an improved game for the power hitters. But moving forward, they have to make a couple of adjustments in terms of chemistry and communication if they want to get on the board sa team rankings natin.
I loved working with Neil. Just for the record, it's my first time to work with him. Absolutely loved it. I hope it happens again, Neil.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil, for joining us. It's going to be an exciting season ahead. All fans will be tuning in for PVL 2021. And thank you for joining us. I'm Jet Manuel.
Yeah, thank you for watching. I'm Boom Gonzalez, and this has been The Game. We'll see you tomorrow.